Hi. Hi everyone. My name is Riley. I'm a second year physical therapy grad student at Quinnipiac, and today I will be teaching chair yoga. So to get started, you guys can find a comfortable chair, one with a back is good, or if you want one with arm rests, just kind of settle yourself down into a nice comfortable position. Maybe if you want to put something beneath your feet so that your feet are nice and supported, or if you want to use blankets, if you want to use sweatshirts, want to put some socks on. If you guys want to light a candle, use the oil diffuser. If you want to turn your lights off. Just thinking about what you can kind of do to modify the area and the environment around you. Make it be what you need it to be. Once you're in a nice, comfortable position, once you've settled into your environment a little bit, you can start by maybe just bringing a little bit of movement into the body. Maybe starting by wiggling the fingers and the toes, or turning those wrists and the ankles. I'm just going to scooch back a little too. You want to stretch out those arms, maybe interlocking those fingers, pushing the palms out away from the chest. Maybe inhaling those arms up and over the head for some slight side bending. You can hug an arm over your chest if you want to really stretch out that shoulder. Just any kind of slight movement here. Maybe looking over one shoulder briefly. You want to hug a knee up to your chest. Maybe a few shoulder shrugs, neck circles. Just some slight motion here, bringing a little bit of movement into our body. And then settling back down into a position of stillness. Just finding a little bit of movement to give it a little bit of relief. Settling down, letting those eyes close if that's something you feel comfortable with. We can start our mindfulness today with a grounding experience. So to move through grounding, you can just start by noticing your environment. I like to start with my sense of hearing. So maybe hearing any music you're playing, hearing the sounds of my voice, maybe hearing anything else in your environment. I think my roommates are cooking. That's what I hear going on for me. Maybe you guys have pets at home, or maybe you hear the wind blowing. Maybe you hear the sounds of your own breath. Maybe the sounds of a car rolling by, or the sound of water running. Just hearing all of these things, letting yourself soak it up. Then noticing what you're feeling next. Whether that be noticing the clothing resting on your skin. Maybe it's feeling your hair drooping down the back of your neck. Maybe it's noting a pair of glasses resting on your nose. Maybe noticing the parts of your body that are exposed to the air, maybe your hands or feet. Noticing the air circulating around them. Comparing that to the areas of your skin that are enclosed by our clothes. Feeling the pressure of the chair beneath you. Feeling the ground beneath your feet. And turning that awareness into your sight. If your eyes are open, you can look around your environment, or if those eyes are closed, maybe noticing if the background of your eyelid, if it's dark, or maybe if it's more pink or orange, there's some light coming in. Letting that awareness turn to your taste of smell. Just noticing anything you're smelling. I have a lavender oil diffuser going in my room, so that's something I notice in my environment. Maybe you're noticing the scent of clean air on this nice, kind of more summery day than what we've been having. Maybe you have anything else going on in your home, any air fresheners, diffusers. And then lastly, letting that awareness drift towards your sense of taste. Maybe noticing if you just took a sip of water, the coolness of that water. Maybe thinking about the last thing you ate and savoring that for a moment. Or maybe thinking about your favorite food here. Noticing how it tastes in your mouth. Noticing its flavor and its texture. Whenever you feel ready, once you feel grounded in your outside environment, you can start to let that awareness turn internally. And then just noticing the rate and the depth of your breathing. Maybe noticing if it feels faster or slower than your normal. If it feels shallow and deep. At any point, just allowing those breaths to slightly slow in and deepen. Really feeling that stomach swell out away from the spine on the inhale as it fills up with air. Noticing it clasp back down towards the spine as it exhales or releases the air. When I like to focus on my breath, I also like to welcome a little bit of mindfulness. With my inhales, I like to imagine that I'm inhaling positive energy, so inhaling kindness, compassion, community, empathy, peace, resilience, determination. Inhaling a sense of relaxation and connection to yourself. Just inhaling anything that comes to mind here, welcoming that with open arms. That exhale, releasing any negative energy, passively releasing any stress, drama, tension, resentment, self-doubt, insecurity. Whatever it is, just letting it leave you passively on that exhale with none of your attention, none of your thought. Really keeping that awareness within the breath, within that positive energy for just a few more breaths here. You can stay here a little bit longer, but whenever you're ready, you can start to wake that body up from our opening relaxation. Maybe starting by wiggling the fingers and the toes, or turning up those wrists and the ankles. Maybe doing a little bit of a shoulder shrug, some slight neck movement, very gentle and slight here. And then coming back into stillness at center. At next inhale, we can reach those arms out and up over your head as tall as you can go, really creating space in that spine. Then exhale, twisting those wrists and letting the arms fall. Once more, we can inhale those arms out and up. This time with an exhale, letting that left hand fall to the right knee. Right hand can come around the back of the chair down by your hip. And then twisting to look over that right shoulder into a spinal twist. And imagine that with your inhales, your spine is growing a little bit straighter. With those exhales, maybe you're twisting a little bit deeper into that stretch. Then inhale, rotating back to center and reaching up nice and tall. That next exhale, right hand to the left knee, left hand behind the body or down by the hip. Look over your left shoulder into a spinal twist to your left. Those inhales, imagine that your head is growing straighter and taller towards the ceiling. With that exhale, you're twisting just a little bit deeper, looking over that left shoulder just a little bit more. And next inhale, you can rotate yourself back up, forward and up towards the ceiling. Then exhale, letting the right arm fall down to your chair or your lap, whichever is most comfortable. Exhale, you're going to do a side bend over to your right side, stretching out the left side of your chest, your shoulder. You want to bring in some wrist or finger movement here. Feel free to do that. Feel a nice comfortable stretch here. With an inhale, coming back up, reaching nice and tall. Then exhale, dropping that left arm down to the chair or lap. And then letting yourself hinge over towards your left side, stretching out the right side of your body. Maybe noticing if one side feels a little bit tighter than the other. Just recognizing that. My right side personally tends to be a little bit tighter on me. With an inhale, coming back up, nice and tall. With that next exhale, making sure you have your feet nice, planted, and supported on the ground. You can exhale and hinge over those hips, falling down towards the ground. Then let that head rest down if you would like, or keep it in line with your back, whichever is most comfortable for your neck and your shoulders. Walk those arms over to the right or the left. Coming back to center with that next inhale, you can slowly roll yourself up, vertebrae by vertebrae, until you're up in a nice seated position. That next exhale, letting that chin drop back down to the center of the chest. Then inhale, rolling the right ear over towards the right shoulder. Should feel a pull on the left side of your neck here. You can deepen that stretch by just adding the weight of your right hand. So not pulling out the head, but just adding that weight. You can float that left arm out and up if you would like. Or you can play around with your eye position here. So maybe try looking down towards your right knee and then up towards the up left corner of your ceiling. Seeing how that changes that stretch and position. Adding in any combination of those variations for you to get the stretch, the pull, and the exercise that you need from this stretch here. Then exhale, starting to walk those hands back down to the chest and letting that chin fall back down to the center of your chest. The next inhale, you're going to move the left ear over towards the left shoulder. Stretch out the right side. You can add in any of those variations with the left hand or floating right arm out and up. Or playing around with that eye position, this time looking at your left knee or out and up towards your right. And next exhale, starting to walk those hands back to the knees and letting that chin drop back down to the center of the chest. And from here, just welcoming some movement into the neck. So whatever that looks like for you, whether it be circles in one direction, maybe let yourself switch direction freely with those neck circles. Maybe the movement is more back towards the back of the room and then chin to the chest, or ear to the shoulder. Stretch out the sides. Maybe trying to hold in the places where you feel some more stretch and tension. And just noticing how your body is feeling here. Our neck and our shoulders are a really common place for us to keep stress and tension. So just assessing how your body is feeling. And maybe continuing with those neck circles or welcoming that into the rest of the back. You can let yourself start to hinge at those hips and fall over the knees. Starting to round out the back, drop that chin down to the chest. Sorry, this chair is really squeaky, I know. Same thing here, switching direction freely, holding where you feel that stretch. And starting to make those motions smaller and smaller. until you come back up into our nice neutral seated position. Taking your time to meet here, feeling no rush. Whenever you are ready, you can inhale, welcoming those arms out and up towards the ceiling. Then here you can clasp those hands together and you can place them behind your head or on your neck, just whichever is most comfortable. Move through a butterfly chest opener. So with our inhales, you're going to open those elbows out away from each other to open your chest. On an exhale, letting those elbows start to come in together and curving down a little bit at that back and the neck. So inhaling, opening nice and wide, and exhaling, close. And just moving with your own breath here, whatever rate that may be for yourself. Want to add in some variations, you can do some twisting up the top or maybe some side bends. Maybe hinging over to one side, target a specific side of your back. Maybe doing this motion and that circular motion we were just doing. Not really caring what this motion is looking like, but just noticing how it's making your body feel. Doing whatever you need to do, whatever that looks like, for yourself to get the most benefit from this exercise. Starting to make those movements smaller and smaller till that next inhale, opening it up nice and wide once more. Exhaling, letting those arms fall. Maybe welcoming in a few shoulder shrugs or circles here. Just loosening up the neck and the shoulders a little bit more. Now when you're ready, you can let those palms rest down on the knees. We'll move through a cat-cow flow. On an inhale, you are going to bring your tailbone and your head towards the back of the room. Show you guys from the side. And then on the exhale, curving that back, bringing the chin down to the center of the chest. Into our cat. So inhaling to your cow, head and tailbone back towards the back of your room. And then exhaling down to cat. Moving with your own breath here. I like to imagine that that movement starts at the center of my spine, with each segment following piece by piece, until my head and tailbone rise and fall at the very end of the motion. Maybe never letting that motion stop, but letting it go so slowly through the breath that when your breath changes, you just switch direction of that movement. With that next inhale, we can meet up into one last cow pose, really opening that chest. Then exhaling, releasing down, coming back down into a neutral spine position. When you're ready, you can kick that right leg out. So my left knee is bent and my right leg is straight out, so the heel's out on the ground. And inhaling, reaching those arms out and up. Exhaling, starting to fall over that right leg. So you can let the hands rest on the shin or the thigh here. And then just starting to bend over comfortably. If you'd rather rest the hands down on the ground or on the mat, feel free to do that as well. So feel a nice stretch down the back of the legs here. Whenever you're ready, you can start to slowly hinge yourself up, coming back up into a nice neutral position, bringing that right foot back under the knee, and then kicking out your left foot whenever you're ready. Inhaling, arms out and up, and then exhaling over that left foot, grabbing down at the thigh, the shin, or maybe down to the ground. You feel a stretch through your calf and your hamstring or on the back of your leg. You can try flexing your toes, pointing them up towards the ceiling, up towards your head, or maybe pointing them down away from you. Noticing how that changes that stretch for you. And then inhale, using those arms, you can push yourself back up into a nice neutral position. That next inhale, we can inhale those arms out and up, letting those hands clasp in front of us. And moving through a flow here, you can inhale up tall to center, nice and tall. Exhale, hinging over to one side. And then inhaling, hinging up nice and tall. Exhaling to your other side. And inhaling back up. Moving through this at your own pace, at your own rate. You want to hold one stretch for a little bit longer. Please feel free to do that. Really focusing on keeping that core engaged and strong here, helping you maintain that balance and getting a little bit of abdominal work as well. That next inhale, you can be up nice and tall at center. Exhaling, letting those arms fall. A few more shoulder shrugs or neck circles if you need them. Whenever you're ready, you're going to step your legs out nice and wide. And then you're going to turn the right toes towards the right edge of your room. And then twisting out, you're going to come up into a seated warrior two. So you can either have that left foot turned into the warrior one, or you can have it straight out towards the camera. And exhale, bending that right elbow, letting it rest down on the arm. Reaching up and over with your left. Feel a nice stretch down the left side and then to your left back and hip a little. Inhaling back up into your warrior two. And exhale, dropping that arm down to the left thigh. And then hinging that right arm back. So you're going to stay up nice and tall and just to hinge slightly. Great work. You guys all look awesome. And inhaling back up. And just moving through that flow here a few times with your own breath at whatever pace is best for you. Really focusing on getting some nice spine movement and mobility here. That next inhale, you may back up into your warrior two, and then letting those arms fall, twisting that right foot back towards the front of the room, and bringing those legs in together here. And inhale, reaching those arms out and up, then exhaling down into a seated forward fold. Hands can rest on the thigh, the shin, the ankle, foot, ground, a pillow, whatever you want. You can keep that head up at neutral or let it droop down towards the ground, whichever is feeling most comfortable for you and your body. You can stay around here if you want, or maybe walk the arms out to the sides. I'm going to get a little bit of a backside stretch here. Maybe clasping those hands together, pushing those palms out away down towards the ground. Stretching out between the shoulder blades there a little. Whatever you want. With that next inhale, making your way back into center at neutral. Using those arms to come up to the thigh and then push yourself back up into a nice seated position. Moving those arms back out, the legs back out into that V position. And twist those left toes towards the left side of your room. Let that right foot remain straight or twist in, whichever is best for you. And start to twist that body slightly over into your warrior two. Once you're here and you feel stable, you can exhale that left forearm down to the left thigh. Reach that right arm up and over into the side stretch. And inhaling back up, warrior two. Exhaling right arm down to the right thigh. Hinging up and back for reverse warrior. And inhaling back up, warrior two. Just moving through that on your own pace. If you'd rather not move with the breath, feel free to do that as well. I just find that to be a natural movement and flow for myself. Just doing whatever you need to do to make your body most comfortable here. That next inhale, you can make yourself back up into your warrior two. You can let those hands fall to the thigh and bring those knees back in together. Settling back down into a comfortable position in your chair. When you're ready, you can bring your right ankle over your left knee. For your left thigh, you can cross over however deeply you want. Once you're here, if you want a little deeper stretch, you can start to push down with your right hand on top of that right knee, or maybe pull up under the right ankle with your left hand. Just feel a nice stretch in that right hip. If you want to deepen that even more, you can start to hinge at those hips over the leg. If you start to feel any numbness or tingling in the feet, just ease out of that stretch and come back in a little gentler, a little less deep. As we pause here, I just want us all to check in with ourselves. Maybe notice any other body parts or movements we feel like are really missing and needed in our flow. Then inhale, coming back up to neutral and uncrossing that leg. Whenever you're ready, crossing that left leg over the right leg and entering into that stretch. You can push down with the left hand on top of the left knee here, or pull up and under that right ankle, or right hand under the left ankle, or hinge at those hips. So then inhale, pulling yourself back up, nice neutral position, uncrossing that leg, and then just settling down into a comfortable position in your chair. If there's any other stretches or body parts that came to you, anything else you need to do to finish up your movement in your class today. For me, that's always a little bit of neck circles, maybe pushing those palms away from the body to stretch between your shoulder blades. If you want to grab a twist, if you want to do any of that side bending. Tailoring that movement to whatever you need. Whenever you do feel that your movement is done, feeling no rush to finish it, you can get settled down into a nice, comfortable sitting position for your Shavasana. Doing anything that you need to do to modify your environment and make it a little bit calmer, whether that's lights, scents, socks, a sweatshirt, whatever you need to do. Once you're here, I encourage you to close your eyes if that's something you feel comfortable with. Let that breath slow and deepen. And just come back to the breath that we practiced at the beginning of our practice, coming back to that mindfulness. Imagine once again that with those inhales, you're welcoming in positive energy. If there's anything else that you thought of that you feel like you needed a little bit of today, anything else that you'd like to welcome into your heart and your mind, I encourage you to inhale that now. With those exhales, just passively releasing negative energy, letting go of anything that isn't serving you positively, and keeping that intention within the positive energy as we begin to close our practice here. Staying here for just a few more breaths. Whenever you're ready, and start to wake that body up. Maybe a few more wiggles of the toes or turn of the hands and the feet before coming into stillness that's seated. Then inhale, you can reach those arms out and up. And then let those palms meet and come down to your forehead. We just end our class today with a moment of gratitude, thanking ourselves for making time in our day, committing this time to yourself for your mental, physical, and emotional health. And I would also like to thank you all for joining me as well, not only today, but throughout the semester. It's been really great having you guys, and I hope that you have all enjoyed as much as I have. That next exhale, we can lower that gratitude down to our heart center. The light inside of me honors and cherishes the light inside each of you. Namaste. Okay, let me just hit the stop recording button here. Might be a little loud for one.